It's officially 2025, which means that it's time to set out on some stellar scouting adventures. But before we do that, let's talk about the importance of reflections and how that can help you in your scouting journey and over the course of the next year. Stay tuned. If you're new to this channel, we're on a mission to inspire and inform new scouting parents and adult leaders. And if you've been following this channel for a little bit, you notice that this video is a little bit late.
Why are you late?
You see, I had planned on posting this video around the 24th of December, so that way it would go into the new year.
So what happened?
However, I ended up catching influenza A, and then eventually that evolved into pneumonia, and I actually couldn't physically get out of bed.
So you were dead?
And I had to take a few weeks off just to rest and recover and actually be able to regain the ability to talk in full sentences. Because for a while there, I actually couldn't breathe and talk at the same time, and that was fairly problematic.
Don't forget to breathe. Very important.
It was going to be a great video. I was going to have a compilation of different things that I've done throughout the year. We were going to talk about the different changes in scouting and about how reflection can help. I was going to play All Lang Syne. One day I'll pronounce that song correctly. There was going to be tears. There was going to be magic. Everybody was going to be excited about the new year. But the influenza had another plan for me. And with that, it really changed how I looked at this video. Because when you have a moment where you're having difficulty breathing and you start thinking about, wow, is this actually something that's going to take my life? You start reflecting differently. And I know that people out there have had different experiences and far worse than that, but I think it really doesn't matter because it just changes your perspective. So with that, this video is going to be about reflection and reflecting on one's past and your scouting journey, so that way you are better prepared for the future.
The future!
So with that mindset, today I want to talk about something that we could all probably use a little bit more of, and that's going to be reflection. With the end of the year behind us, it's the perfect time to look back on the last 12 months and take stock of how far we've come. Reflection isn't just about remembering the highs and lows of the year. It's about taking lessons from those moments, gaining clarity, and setting the stage for a more intentional and focused future.
Stay focused!
I try to reflect every so often because it is a great habit to have, both in life and in scouting. If you're interested in a little bit of reading, check out the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. In the book, he talks about how reflection is key to understanding how habits are formed, recognizing patterns, and making adjustment for continual improvements. In scouting, we call this a practice of start, stop, and continue, but we'll talk about that more here in a minute. So why exactly is reflecting on the year so important? Well, let's break it down.
Break it down!
First, reflection helps us gain clarity on what actually went well. Sometimes we get so caught up in the chaos of daily life that we forget to celebrate the wins, no matter how big or how small they may be. Reflection gives us a chance to acknowledge those successes and build on them. Maybe you reached a personal milestone, hit a fitness goal, or finished a creative project you're proud of. These accomplishments deserve attention and appreciation. For me, I started this YouTube channel and ended up running a marathon in 2024. I've always thought that having a sustainable YouTube channel was one of the coolest opportunities of my generation. I get to create while having fun doing that. I was already going to some cool places and doing some amazing things. I just needed to stop being afraid of the camera and hit record. 6 months later, and we're nearing 70 subscribers, and I think that that's a win worth celebrating. But that doesn't mean that everything has gone to plan. I've made some mistakes, and there's a lot of learning that has occurred over the last 6 months. Even looking at my videos from, let's say, a month ago, I've already seen how I've improved and how I'm doing things differently. Which brings us to our next point, which is reflection helps us learn from our mistakes. We've all had setbacks. We've all faced challenges and made decisions we wish we could take back.
We all make mistakes.
But rather than avoiding or suppressing those moments, reflection gives us an opportunity to learn from our mistakes. When we look back, we can ask ourselves, what went wrong and what would I do differently next time? This kind of self-awareness is key to growth. For me, I've made mistakes in life, scouts, and in my own career. But each time I made a mistake, I took a moment to reflect on and review what happened and what I could do better next time. Also, make sure you are looking at what you did wrong and not outwardly projecting what others did incorrectly. There's a time and a place for that, but in a reflection, it should be about you. It should be about you taking the ownership about what you could have done differently and not necessarily shifting blame to other people. After reflecting on my mistakes, I then tried to implement that change into my life or into my scouting program. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and I need a little bit more reflection. But regardless, we keep moving forward with the clear intention of what the future should look like.
That's not an option. You got to keep on keeping on.
Reflection sets the stage for the future. When you understand what worked and what didn't, you set clearer, more intentional goals for the next year. Instead of listing out a bunch of resolutions that you may or may not stick with, reflect on what truly matters to you. What kind of person do you want to become? What are the habits or actions you want to carry forward into the next year? What sort of program do you want to have for your scouts, and what does the successful program look like? Because once you have a vision of what you want for the future and what that future should look like, you can start to set smaller goals and checkpoints to make sure you are on track. In our next video, we talk about how drafting a vision and using that vision can plan out your next scouting year, so stay tuned for that.
Excellent vision. Excellent vision.
But now that I've hopefully inspired you to reflect on the year and your scouting program, let's talk about some practical applications you can start implementing today, following your next scouting event, and hopefully it will help you in the future. On a smaller scale, Scouts teaches the practice of start, stop, and continue. If you've been around scouting or even corporate America for a little bit, you've likely heard the concept. And trust me, you as a scouting leader should be completing a start, stop, and continue after each scouting event. You should also be teaching this to your young leaders so that way they can go forth and do this after each event, so that way they are learning from their mistakes as well. So it's a fairly simple concept to understand. After you've finished a scouting event, you gather together all the different people who were involved in the event. This could be the youth leaders if you're dealing with Scouts PSA, or the adult leaders if you're dealing with Cub Scouts. And the first thing that you're going to want to do is take an assessment of what went well, what didn't go well, and what really sucked.
That was awful.
Because those are going to be the things that you're going to want to change in the future and hopefully write down. So after you have your list, you're going to want to do the start portion of start, stop, and continue. You want to look at what are the things that I could do better and I should start doing right now. It could be something as simple as maybe planning a little bit better, which we always recommend here at the Roaming Scouter, that you always plan out things a little bit more. Maybe it's start having better food or catered food because maybe the potluck wasn't as good as everybody expected. Or 3, maybe it's just recruiting more people to help out because there were only very few people who were actually helping out with the event, and that made the event not as good.
Wait, I want to help.
So just remember that you want to start doing certain things in order to help out your program or to help out with the event when you do it again next year. All right, now you want to get together the things that didn't go well and the things that sucked. If you could do it all over again, what would you change and what would you not do this time? This could be something as simple as eliminating certain activities, maybe changing a certain venue, or maybe not just adding a bunch of extra things on top of a program. Sometimes simplicity is key, and when you add too much, people are in a rush and are not necessarily having a good time, or things fall behind. Or maybe you just need to stop using a specific venue or relying on specific people because they always seem to kind of fall short, or maybe they're taking on too much and that causes too much of an issue.
You have failed me for the last time, Admiral.
Regardless of what it is, you want to look at what should you stop today or what should you not do the next time you do this activity, and that's going to help you with your program. And the final portion is going to be continue. If it's working and you like it, keep doing it. If you don't want to change it, you don't have to change it. If it's something maybe you want to look at in the future changing, that's fine. But if it's working and people are enjoying it, just keep going with it. You probably have something that you need to focus more on coming from the stop portion. But if there's something that you think is working well, just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. So once you have all these items listed out and written down, it's very important to capture them in a document that's kept by your committee or your leadership element. That being the Cub Master or Den Leaders, or in the Scouts BSA, it's going to be the Scout Master or Patrol Leaders Council. You really want to write these lessons down so that way people in the future are not making the same mistakes and they have something to go off of. That way it's not the first time that you're doing it every single time. But hey, if you found value in this video, the best thing that you can do to help support us is to share this video with one of your scouting friends. Also, please make sure you do all that great YouTube stuff down below. Hit the like, the comments, the subscribes, and everything. As always, our Amazon affiliate links are down below if you purchase anything through Amazon, even though it's after Christmas. After clicking one of our links, we do get a little bit of a commission, and it helps grow this channel so that way we can go places and we can inspire and inform new scouting parents and adult leaders. But with that, I've been Matt with the Roaming Scouter, and I'll see you out there.